right, welcome everyone. I'm Ilise Benun of marketing-mentor.com. And this is the office hours for the Simplest Marketing Plan. And we are in May 2021. Can you believe it? It's already May. And today I want to talk a little bit about the difference between ebb and flow and feast or famine. And you'll notice I put that image back, that painting back on my wall, which I love. It's one of my favorites because to me it represents that ebb and flow of the ocean, and it's just natural. And when you're self-employed, the ebb and the flow is what's natural. And I think it takes time to get used to that. I think especially when you're new to self-employment, it takes time to get used to the way things come and go. And often when people aren't used to it, or when they're in the middle of feast or famine and things slow down, you think, oh my God, this is the beginning of the end, which it's not usually. And that's the whole purpose of marketing, is that when things slow down, you know exactly what to do to ramp them up the way you want. Your foot is on that pedal. To me, that's the purpose of marketing. That's the beauty of marketing. That's the effect of marketing. And yet it takes time. And a lot of people are just really impatient and want it to happen right away. And sometimes for legitimate reasons, and sometimes just because you want what you want when you want it. But the reality is, as anyone who has children, which I do not, know, you get what you get when you get it. However, with marketing and with your business, you can control the flow. And so the whole goal, in my opinion, is to get it to a point where it's not feast or famine, right? Feast or famine is the extremes, and that is very stressful. I don't like feast or famine, but ebb and flow is natural. So you want to find a place in between. And well, I've been talking a lot and thinking a lot about feast or famine lately. And for those of you who have heard my most recent podcast, conversation with Danielle Hughes, who is here and is going to talk a little bit with us about feast or famine, she is in the feast. And a big part of it is because she's been doing her marketing and she's been saying, be careful what you wish for, because feast can be a problem too. Feast is not necessarily, yes, it's better than famine. I'll give everyone that, but it has its own challenges. So before we chat a little bit with Danielle, I really want to just show the simplest marketing plan, because I sometimes have a feeling no one's really using it. And that's fine, I suppose, as long as you're here and doing your marketing, that's all that matters. But I do want to, for those of you who want to use it, I want to show a little bit an overview of it. So let me share my screen. And you should see my screen. And so this is the simplest marketing plan for 2021 in action. It's very long. It's got a lot of content, which you can see here in the table of contents. But the point and the part I want to show today is over here. It starts on page 33, and it's the monthly planner and the weekly schedule. And I want to start, there's a lot of explanation about how to use it in a little video, so you should read that. But I just want to show the different elements because we're going to talk a little bit about one of the elements. So here it is, the first page. You're going to put your target market in here. You're going to put your income goal, whether it's $2,000 a month or $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month, whatever it is. And then you're going to track against it what you actually deposit in your bank account. And these may not even out for a while, so be patient. And then you're going to identify who your top prospects are. These are people with whom you've had the money conversation and or submitted a proposal. And you don't want to lose track of them. You don't want to assume they'll come to you when they're ready. No, you want to stay on top of it. The ball is always in your court. So this is one way that you keep track of it. Then the 3 tools are, number 1, strategic networking. And for each of them, there's a little video to watch. If you haven't found that, it's embedded in the document. If you forget what networking is, it's like going to a party, finding your people. And here's where you keep track of the events and the people that you want to follow up with, and lots of little boxes to check because people love checking boxes, and places for notes. And then tool number 2, targeted outreach, which is when you identify your best prospects and you reach out to them with a 4-part marketing campaign, outreach campaign, which is also embedded in this plan. And you do 5 to 10 prospects at a time, and you keep track of them here. This is not a contact management software. It's just it's a container to keep everything in one place. And then the 3rd tool is content marketing, which has many manifestations, including a newsletter, a blog, and or guest blogging. And those are just 3 possibilities. But if you do anything, I always like to say, send out a newsletter, because that's the way of pushing your visibility out to the people who you want to stay in touch with, who already know who you are, who already are part of your network, and you want to stay top of mind so you can have what I call newsletter magic, which is when people who you can't even remember that they're on your list, but they are. And then once upon a time, once in a while, you send out your message and they say, oh, I've got a project, let's talk, right? That's newsletter magic. And then the last page is where you keep track of any updates you want to make your website the most marketing smart it can be. And anything that doesn't fit into that, everything is a wild card, and you keep track of it here. That's it. It's very simple, but people forget they have it or forget it's on their computer somewhere. So that's why I like to show it again and again, but we can talk about it when we get to the Q&A